Alright. It's Thanksgiving, which means we're about to get controversial up in this witch. So essentially, what we're going to do here is I'm going to be assigning Toll Drama characters a political affiliation for Thanksgiving. Because what could I do about Thanksgiving? I already did who I'd invite to Thanksgiving, and I'm not going to redo that video. So essentially, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be assigning them a political party. And, you know, we'll see who fights with who on Thanksgiving. How about that, huh? Because what do we remember about all the jokes about friggin'... I don't know. Friggin', Thanksgiving? That weird uncle who says something that's politically incorrect, and by politically incorrect, I mean incredibly racist. I'm just kidding. I don't have one like that. I have a very nice uncle. I have very nice uncles. Demented Ghastly lore. So as you can see here, we have anarchist, communist, conservative, leftist or democratic socialist, Republican, old-fashioned or libertarian right. Then we have liberal, then we have MAGA cultist, then we have annoyingly centrist. As you can tell, I don't really like people who call themselves like moderates or centrists because chances are, or at least from what I've seen, I've never met a person who says they're moderate or centrist who hasn't been leaning further to the right. So, you know, it's like, plus, if you're centrist right now, you're on the right. Like, the center has moved, guys. The center has moved, okay? People who are supposed to be Democrats are not Democrats. Anyway, we're going crazy here. Is why Mom Donnie won, because he's actually who we want. We want them democratic socialists. It's just people think that socialism is a bad thing. Anyway, or at least certain types of socialism. I feel like a good mix of capitalism and socialism is probably the goal here, but you know. Anyway, Ezekiel is obviously an old-fashioned Republican. Due to Ezekiel's nature, he would definitely not be a MAGA cultist. He may be socially unaware, but Ezekiel's not the type of guy to start saying some weird, very, very weird stuff and defend PDF files, okay? He's not the type of person to do that. Then we have Eva. Ooh, this is hard. Wait, why isn't... So I wrote myself like a little bit of a cheat sheet, right? Oh yeah. She's from Russia, so she should be a communist, but I'm gonna put her an anarchist. I feel like Eva would be the type of person to be like, whoever has the strongest arm wins and is king. Or queen. Or monarch. Slay. Anyway, Noah would obviously be a leftist. But I'm talking like the most annoying leftist. Which is probably me, I'm not gonna lie. He's gonna be a very annoying leftist. But, you know, I believe that people who are as smart as Noah could probably have a good amount of knowledge about how the world works and exactly how politics work. And thus, I think he would probably be a leftist. Maybe not a democratic socialist, but would definitely be on the left. Justin is definitely libertarian right, that is for sure. He believes in the capitalist free market, baby. I'm going to say that Katie is a liberal. and Sadie is a Republican. The reason I'm saying that is because I think that these two best friends are on different sides of the political spectrum purely so that I can say that people do reach across the aisle. We need good old-fashioned Republicans. Hank Hill. I want some Hank Hill Republicans, okay? Ones who are like, I don't understand this. Boy, come here, boy. You know, that sort of thing. What does he sound like? Last on, told him pick a pill, shit's rare blue. Anyway, if you don't know that, it's a reference to something. Anyway. Bobby got the cell phone stick, you better answer, dude. Anyway, Izzy is definitely an anarchist. She's actively enacting her anarchist plan right now, I just know it. Now we have Cody, who is a liberal. Originally, I think he would be more, conservative, but I feel like Cody, as a ladies' man, would definitely want to be more liberal. I think that he would be a little bit too much of a simp to be someone who, you know, isn't a big fan of, like, women's reproductive health, so. Beth here is a MAGA cultist. If anything, I think it would be Beth, because fuck Beth. I hate Beth. She sucks. I'm just kidding. I don't hate her. But I think that Beth definitely would be the one to be brainwashed into being a MAGA cultist. So, I think that Tyler is a liberal. I think that Tyler believes that, you know, he wants to be the man of the house, but he's, like, super into, like, women working in industry fields and being like, yo, feminism is great. What's something that Tyler says so I can get into the voice? Now it's Tyler time. Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry, that was bad. Anyway, Courtney right here. Courtney is a Republican, old-fashioned, very old-fashioned. Not that old-fashioned, but pretty old-fashioned, to the point where she's like, you know, I think that business is probably my #1 priority. I like rules and regulations. I like things to be very specific, and I don't really like change too much. Harold is a leftist. Gosh, I watch Hassan Piker. Gosh. He would, wouldn't he? Anyway, Trent is an old-fashioned Republican. His dad's a lawyer. He's probably loaded. I mean, I feel like he leans more liberal values, but probably, I think he'd probably stick voting with Republican. He'd also be a big fan of the free market, that sort of thing. Bridget? Ooh, Bridget. Bridget is obviously a liberal with all of her stuff for freaking veganism and, or it's a vegetarian, it's one of those two. But all of her stuff for that's like, that just means she's automatically like a little liberal. There isn't any other option. I think that Lindsay, Lindsay is definitely a liberal. She's too nice. She's just too sweet. I mean, like, liberals are they're just too sweet. They're so naive. They think the system works. She thinks the system works. Like, come on. Same thing for DJ, too much of an animal lover. I feel like Jeff, though, is old-fashioned Republican. He's got that party boy vibe who just votes Republican but doesn't really look up too much. He voted for Trump because he didn't know that Trump was a really bad guy, and just voted for him because he thought the guy was funny on TV. Afterwards, he immediately regretted it, but he still sticks with Republicans for the most part that he thinks are chill. Next, we have Lashana. Lashana is a leftist. Lashana be like, free Palestine. Lashana be like, yo, everyone deserves healthcare. Lashana be like, women's reproductive rights. Lashana be like, yo, get those homeless people off the street and working. Trickle down economics doesn't work. Duncan is conservative. You can't tell me that someone who's constantly sexist and also says transgender troll, and this also gives off the vibes of homophobic. I'm not saying that he is. I'm saying he gives off the vibes. I'm saying he would be conservative. He'd be one of those, you know, those like conservatives on TikTok who are like, you can't be punk and conservative. Well, watch me. That sort of thing. You know, he records those all the time to be like, look at me. See? MAGA can be cool. I'm just kidding, he's not MAGA. But conservatives can be cool. He thinks that Trump is a dweeb. That's the only reason why he didn't vote for him and instead just refused to vote. Heather is definitely conservative. Her strict cutthroat attitude and her family probably being pretty wealthy means that she doesn't really care too much as long as she gets some benefit in there. I'm going to say Gwen is probably... Ooh, this is hard. This is difficult. I'd say Gwen is probably a democratic socialist. I just think that I don't know why. I just think she is. Owen's a liberal. His heart is too big, almost as big as him. Ella Handwalker. Ooh, this is hard. Alejandro immediately heard Trump talking about stuff like being like anti-Latino, and immediately thought to himself, oh hell no, and just jumped straight to the Democratic Party, then jumped straight to the left and got all the way into leftist, and then realized, hey, this is actually kind of good. Goes to like all sorts of anti-ICE protests, stuff like that, but tries to look cool while he's doing it. He's been shot by so many rubber bullets he can't even count that high. Next we have Sierra. Sierra is also a liberal. She always has been, but she promised that she would be whatever Cody is, and yeah. Blanley is a MAGA cultist. In fact, she looks like a friggin' Fox News reporter. She just needs like a billion more pieces of plastic, okay, on her face. Then we have Stacy. Stacy's a communist, obviously. Dakota is conservative because all she knows about politics is that voting Republican gets her dad more money. B is probably a democratic socialist. I believe that B is huge into wealth redistribution. Full on into that. He's like, you know, screw it. Everybody deserves that money. He made robots to serve at a local soup kitchen. Dawn is so liberal, it's not even funny. the animal thing, the nature thing, yeah. Sam. Ooh, Sam. I believe that Sam is probably liberal. From the types of games that Sam plays, he doesn't seem to play the types of games that would get you watching Asmongold and then turned into an incel. So I think that he stays on the right pipeline. He stays, I don't think he's going all the way to leftist, but I think he's He's a liberal, that's for sure. Brick is definitely an old-fashioned Republican. Super into the basic stuff of wanting small government. You know, huge fan of the army. Thinks that Republicans appreciate the army more, which I can see why we would think that. But you know, we do some atrocities, and he does think about that, and he does vote with his heart. He just mostly votes Republican. He did not vote for Trump, he voted third party. And Maria is liberal because she does not want to get deported. She also is straight up. She appreciates Trump's spray on tan, okay? She appreciates his orange, but she thinks he's kind of gross, and she doesn't really like that he, you know, grapes women. Okay, Mike is annoyingly centrist. He's the type of guy when he hears two people of different ideologies debating, he gets in between them and goes, guys, both of you guys have good points. Jo is conservative because she's cutthroat. She completely believes in women's rights and constantly tries to friggin' use anti-trans stuff to get other people on her side. Trying to lure all the people who are liberal onto the conservative side through anti-trans stuff. But at the same time, she's questioning her own gender herself. Sky is an old-fashioned Republican. Plus a libertarian right. He believes if it exists, there's a market for it, you should be able to buy it. He believes in private police. Zoe right here? Zoe's a liberal. Look at the flower in the hair. Look at the hair dye. She's a liberal. Lightning votes for himself at the office. Or at the voting booth. Cameron, let's see. Ooh, this is hard. I think Cameron votes liberal. He's got some more, like, leftist-leaning stuff, but for the most part, he's just anti-fighting. Beardo right here. Beardo is... Beardo is a democratic socialist. In fact, he goes past democratic socialist. He's just a socialist. Leonard believes in old-fashioned trade. Bartering. He believes in bartering, so I'm putting him with Stacy. We're gonna do the same thing with Tammy. Where's Tammy? Where are you, Tammy? There you are. So Amy is conservative, she's cutthroat, she's rich, she has all the stuff she needs. Meanwhile, Sammy has experienced so much bullying that she saw Trump and went, nope, that's a bully. And immediately became liberal. Rodney's... I'd say Rodney's conservative. He doesn't realize what any of the policies are. He just votes with his dad because his dad tells him that's good for the boys. And then when his farm gets inevitably screwed over by Trump, he's cooked. Let's see. Ella's liberal. She's too nice. Topher. I'm saying Topher is... Topher's definitely a libertarian, but I'm gonna put him libertarian right. Dave here. Dave is a weird case, so I'm gonna make another thing for him, okay? So Dave is a liberal to Andrew Tate watching Republican pipeline. After being humiliated in front of international TV, he immediately started watching Andrew Tate, Sneeko, that other guy who looks stupid. I don't know, all of them look stupid. But, Moron Games or something? Myron Games? I don't know. And also watches Asmongold on the occasion and listens, but only listens to him when he complains about women. Scarlet is a complete socialist, but like she also believes in more leftist ideologies compared to like socialist, but she's kind of in the middle. She's democratic socialist, but she has trouble trying to articulate exactly what she wants out of it, because she wants to do something evil, but she can't really do that when it's just straight up leftist stuff. She was thinking communist, and then she rules the world, but she's not sure. Next we have Max. Max got bullied for misgendering someone once, and then immediately decided, I kind of want to be a Republican. He's a little brat. Essentially, he said, the left party is really insane. I hate them all because they called me out for saying something racist at one point. And then, like, you know, cancel culture didn't really get him, but the right-wing pipeline did. He became a conservative. Being white himself, he didn't really have to deal with too much with it, but then he decided to be an anarchist because the right also bullied him for being short. Then we have Jasmine. Jasmine's definitely a leftist. That is for sure. She's not a democratic socialist, but she's definitely a leftist. White trash? Dude, she is such a conservative. That's going in there. Sky, I'd say Sky's a liberal. She's too much of a nature dweller to not be. Sean is also a leftist. He's a democratic socialist more, and Jasmine is not. Jerry is a liberal, and I don't know. I can't remember his name. Terry and Jerry. I'm going to call you Terry and Jerry. This guy's a Republican, and they constantly say mean things about each other's, but actually, he's a conservative, and they constantly say bad things about each other's policies, but once Trump came in, that's when they split up as friends. Well, these two are leftists. They don't believe that socialist policies work very well, but they are on the left side. These two are liberals. Look at them. They're vegans. That's going in. Same thing for these two. They are also liberals. I mean, one's gay, and one's the gay person's best friend. Of course, they're going to be liberals. Extremely rich white woman who gets, like, facial reconstruction surgery. That's a conservative right there. And her bratty daughter, that is also conservative right there. I would say these two are leftist, democratic, socialists. They understand it, but every time they try to explain is actually why they are this, they break out in hives. Now, the stepbrothers... Lorenzo... Or this one's chat. Sorry, I wasn't looking, I was in my hand. Chet is a Republican old-fashioned. And Lorenzo is a liberal. They come from different political families, but they don't really fight about it too much. Or at least they didn't. Okay, Rock. Rock right here is an old-fashioned Republican. But recently he's been more chill and started turning liberal, but he still identifies as a Republican, so I'm gonna respect that. Same thing for my little buddy right here. He's going to be right there. Dwayne is an old-fashioned Republican, and so is his son. Dwayne started following the Trump stuff, but due to Junior being a little bit media literate, he starts to understand that his dad is not really right about some of the stuff he says. Crimson and Ennui understand politics so well that they've definitely become leftist. Brody is with Jeff. He's just with Jeff. These two are old-fashioned Republicans. They don't stand for the new racism that's coming up in the party. Or especially flourishing in the party right now. These two are liberal. They're too nice and weird. Emma and Kitty are definitely leftists. But Kitty is a Democratic socialist. Thank you. Let's see. She is an old-fashioned Republican. He was a Republican until the homophobia started to get really bad. And so he's kind of moved on to leftist ideas. And she moved with him. Because despite her being evil, she's not heartless. Or she's the villain, she's not evil. She's evil, she's not a monster. My bad, I'm messing up the phrase right here. MacArthur is an anarchist. Meanwhile, Sanders is an old Republican. Super fond of the police, that sort of thing. She kind of ignores crime statistics with like, with anything having to do with, like, police brutality of people of color. She tries to avoid those specifically so she doesn't have to worry about it too much, but eventually one day she will kind of have to look at that. Caleb. Ooh, that's hard. I'm gonna say Caleb's a liberal. I'm not sure why. Axel is a Democratic socialist, for sure. Axel would have voted for Mom Donnie a billion times if she could. Let's see. She also appreciates some good old-fashioned Bernie Sanders in AOC. Let's see. So Nichelle is kind of weird. She's like a Republican, but at the same time she wants to appear. She doesn't want to get canceled. But when she does come out and like kind of actually read about the stuff, she's like, oh shit, I am a liberal. Wow. She hasn't reached the leftist point yet, and I don't think she ever will. And of course, Scary Girl's an anarchist. Why wouldn't she be? Damien, my friend, my amigo, my pal. Damien is a leftist. Damien watched the Good old-fashioned Ethan Klein and the Hassan podcast. And when they broke up, he was heartbroken. He wants Ethan to come home. Ethan, come home. Ethan, stop. It's not too late for you. Ethan Klein, it is not too late for you. It is never too late for you. You can come back from this. You don't have to keep on doubling down every single time. You can admit you are wrong. Make out with Hassan. Please do it on stream, 4K HD, oiled up. Anyway. Yeah, I would say MK is definitely a leftist. Let's see, Raj is a liberal, and the way Wayne reacted, he's definitely a liberal as well. That's not like leftist behavior. Leftist behavior is like cool. Wayne is like, yes, I get to be there. Ripper likes the idea of bullying, but the thing is, he doesn't like bullying people for. He's like Nelson from The Simpsons. He believes that you shouldn't bully people for something that they can't change about themselves. So he's not gonna like bully someone for being like gay or trans or something like that. And so it's just like he doesn't really like conservatism anymore. He doesn't like Donald Trump. Z is liberal as hell, dude. His brain is far too, like, chill, like, just, like, he's far too high all the time to, like, think about stuff that would bring you to be a leftist, but he voted for Kamala, and he was pretty proud of it. He has a little voting pin and stuff. Chase platformed Donald Trump. I'm just kidding. He's not conservative, but he's Republican, libertarian specifically, libertarian right, and he did platform Donald Trump. I did say that, and that was true. Emma gives off the most white girl energy of all time, and I'm saying this as a white dude, but like, I don't even know how to explain, like, she's whiter than sour cream. Like, so she could either go two ways. She could double down on racist stuff, or she can apologize all the time for racism that she didn't actually do. I'm trying to find where I put her on my little cheat sheet here. Oh yeah. She decided to go nowhere with that. She's annoyingly centrist. And I forgot about Nichelle. Nichelle is also annoyingly centrist. At the end, she kind of evened out and had to stop. She was like, oh man, I can't say political stuff anymore. Everybody's right, you know? Julia's old-fashioned Republican. She says some insensitive stuff on Twitter and gets canceled for it every now and then. But overall, she's still, like, she's not, like, racist, if that's what you're thinking. She says some jokes that are not cool, but afterwards she does apologize for them. Some of them sincere, some of them not. After all, she's a lesbian, so... Millie is... Holy fuck. Millie is conservative. Do you see the allegory for, like... For Millie being, like, going in and being like, oh, Gen Z is so messed up. Gen Z is so weird. Look at them. She'd be the type of person to be like, look, all these people are trans now. Look, trans people never existed before this certain time. and then would research it and be like, oh shit, I can never tell my parents about this and about me being wrong, so I'm gonna continue to double down and ignore all the evidence of like the whole left-hand argument of like left-handers didn't come out until like a certain point, so obviously before that nobody was left-handed. Anyway, Bowie is a leftist for sure. On God, no cap. And Priya is definitely annoyingly centrist. She's got that vibe of like, I don't want to say anything wrong that will make people hate me. Anyway, that is the entire Total Drama political affiliation tier list. Happy Thanksgiving. Make sure to go outside, compliment someone's hair, make the world a little bit of a better place.